the gift packaging for this gift is probably the best that I've ever received from a shop. And it's just amazing. And then this other gift, this is a t-shirt actually, and just beautifully, beautifully packaged. The detail is fantastic. You've got a sticker from the shop here. You've got this beautiful little flower on the front here that's holding together the ribbon of this string. And it's just beautifully done with 2 bits of paper. And the same with this one, but in a different style and a different colored flower. Absolutely fantastic. You know, and I found this shop kind of by mistake. It's called Mrs Red Sons, and it's at 427 Crown Street in Surrey Hills. And it was probably, or is probably, one of the most wonderful shopping experiences that I've had in Australia. It's a tiny little shop. It's an incredible shop for the range of product it's got. And not only for that, but for the way it finishes off the product. You know, you've got a beautiful bag that you get to carry the items in. And then here we are in 2024, and you've got a handwritten receipt. You know, there's no technology to be found. I own a software company, you know, and I'm, I'm here to try and sell my point of sale software into a range of businesses. But this shop doesn't need that, in the sense that you step in the front door and you stepping into another world. You're stepping over a threshold into this space that's so unique and so wonderful. And it's a shop that I will go back to because the range of products they have appeals to me, and also because the experience is just wonderful. You know, from the handwritten receipt to the beautifully wrapped gifts, Mrs Red Sons at 427 Crown Street is just wonderful. Here are some of the photos just to give you an idea of what really appealed to me about visiting this particular shop. So there's the front of the shop. But as I said, as you step in, you're coming through the red doors and you're stepping into another world. It's a small shop and you've got a bit of jewelry, a bit of crockery, some clothing, some toys, absolutely wonderful products. There's a particular couple of products that drew me into the shop when I first got there, and I'll just jump forward to those. It's these robots. They caught my attention. You know, I love the TV series Lost in Space and very nostalgic for that. And I like the look of these robots and a couple of the other robots they had. And you wind them up and they walk. Absolutely fantastic. But let's go back to these other photos. You step inside, you're in this space. Right down the left-hand wall, you've got some soap there, you've got some bowls, beautiful Asian pottery, beautifully made. And it's not overloaded with stock. You feel like if you're buying something from here, you're going to be buying something unique that is going to be the gift that no one else will have for that person. The soap is just wonderfully presented, beautifully packaged. You've got these mugs with the butterfly handles, just wonderful. Robots, as I said, and I bought one of those. You've got some jewelry. Everything in the shop, the owner knows its provenance. He knows where it's come from, how it was made, how it's been sourced from an environmental perspective. There's so much about this experience that was wonderful. You know, I want to call it kind of slow retail because there was no pressure, but I don't want to use that term slow retail in any negative sense. I didn't want to rush out of there. I wanted to look at everything. I wanted to touch everything, and they encourage you to do that. I wanted to find out more about this business and the experience that they were providing that was just so wonderful. Then I saw this sign next to the counter towards the back of the shop in front of the incense, and it said, "Specially created for Mrs. Red." And I said to the chap behind the counter, I said, "Who's Mrs. Red?" And he had this really gentle smile, and he kind of bowed a little forward and he said, "Mrs. Red is my mum." And then he told me the story of how Mrs. Red and Sons is his mum and he and his brother, and how the business had been put together as a representation of things that they love, things they're proud of, things that they enjoy. And you could see that in the shop. They're really strong intentions around design and color choice, product range, absolutely looks fantastic. The blue ceiling was just a delight to see. And then flowing into this red wall was just fantastic. Um, they've even got a range of cards, and the cards are all full face displayed in a way that you don't see in a lot of traditional shops selling cards today. And these cards are really unique. I could have bought so many of them. And then, as I said, after you've made your purchase, my instinct is once I bought something, I want to get it in a bag and move on to the next shop. But I didn't feel the urge to do that here. I was fascinated by what the chap behind the counter did to basically take two square sheets of paper and create what you can see in this photo. Absolutely beautiful gift presentation, truly wonderful. And the detail is fantastic. Those little touches make a big difference. I don't want to open the gift, or I don't want to have the person I'm going to give it to open it, because it is really so special. And as I said, the handwritten receipt, 19th of April, 2024, robot, t-shirt, absolutely wonderful. And as I said, you want to try and push technology onto businesses like this, but by the same token, this business doesn't need it in terms of the experience that they're providing. Mrs Red Sons was just a fantastic experience. And then I'm walking down the street carrying this wonderful bag that I'm so proud and happy to be able to carry and kind of represent, I guess, if you like, if I could put it that way. I just want to show you quickly their website, because the website is also well worth looking at. The website, you can buy from the website. You've got the various collections showing there. There are the mugs that I talked about. The butterfly cups, you can go and buy those. All of this is available on the website. I'm kind of tempted to shop on the website because I think the website experience is going to be equivalent to the experience of shopping in the shop. If we go and look here, you've got some of these other cute robots that are just absolutely fantastic and really well worth seeing. The reason I wanted to show you the website is because you go to About and it tells you the story. It's a gift boutique specializing in these objects of art and personal accessories since 1994. And I saw that and I was shocked. This is in Surrey Hills, just 2 streets away from where our Sydney office was. And I had no idea it existed. I feel so ignorant about that. This is the kind of shop that I want to tell everybody to go and have a look at. If you enjoy um, shopping, if you enjoy meandering through a shop and finding wonderful treasures, and if you enjoy unique shops where you're going to find gifts that you're not going to find in mainstream retail, then Mrs. Red and Sons is absolutely a shop to get to. And as I said, I feel so ignorant for not knowing that this place existed. As I said, we had an office just around the corner. I've been to Sydney hundreds and hundreds of times, been to Surrey Hills many times, and I'd never been here. Absolutely fantastic. Their story here on their website is there for you to read. It's really a wonderful story and well worth reading. And then you've got the contact details for the shop, how to get there, their hours that are open. Look at this though. We are completely flexible and can accommodate appointments outside of our regular trading hours. Please contact us to arrange a suitable time for your visit or to inquire about any further items not currently displayed. This is absolute perfection in terms of retail. They're making it very easy for you to come and buy whatever it is you want to buy, even when they wouldn't normally be open. They wonderfully take you into the history of the shop and they tell you about the shop and how it came about and why it matters today. The thing about Mrs. Red and Sons for me, but first of all, there's the surprise of finding it, just wandering past and seeing these red doors and the robot in the window and thinking, I want to go in there and have a look. Then there's the whole shopping experience. There was no pressure. Can I help you? Um, no kind of interference with my experience in the shop. And their absolute pride and delight at uh, realizing or seeing your discovery of what they've created, but not being over the top about it, not being pushy, really making it easy. As I said, you walk out of there not only with the item that you purchased, but with this presentation, this packaging that really is wonderful. And, you know, the detail of this is amazing. So that's one thing. And then in here, I've just got a simple t-shirt, a really simple t-shirt. And again, beautifully packaged, beautifully wrapped, uh, 2 sheets of paper, wonderfully presented with that flower on there. So you've got those two things. And then you're able to walk out of there with the bag, which is, you know, it's not a flimsy shopping bag. I mentioned the cards, and I just want to show you an example. This is an Australian, handmade in Australia card, absolutely beautiful. And it's the kind of card, when you feel it, it's a fabric-based card. And when you feel it, it just doesn't matter. Certainly for what I was looking for, it doesn't matter how much the card is. A wonderful experience. And then I want to come back to the handwritten receipt. This is slow retail in the most wonderful way. And it's just a fantastic experience. And here it is on our doorstep in Australia, in Sydney, in Surrey Hills. So if you're around Crown Street or in Surrey Hills at all, I really urge you to go and look at Mrs Red Sons. It's a wonderful experience. I could have spent a lot more money there. I really loved the range of products that they had. Their aesthetic is fantastic. It's a very comforting shop to visit. And they're very accommodating in talking about their history and finding out more about what they do. I love looking at inspiring retail, and really love the experience of um, discovering something. You know, for me, it's discovering something that's new. I know Sydney knows Mrs Red exists. I feel pretty ignorant about not knowing that myself. But I would say it's an example of local independent retail done really well. They're experts in their field. The range represents that. The shop design represents that. It's not some garish shop fit made by a shop fitting company. It is beautiful artisan quality materials put together in a way that represents who they are and how they see their business. And then the experience itself in the shop was perfect. There's so much about it that was wonderful. The only time a bit of technology came out is when I wanted to pay by a card and they brought out the FPOS terminal. So look, Mrs. Red and Sons is a retail business for retailers to visit. I learned a lot. I will go back, and I'm really grateful for the generosity of the owner in sharing information about the shop. It's just a fantastic experience. And I think a real testament to what they've created and their commitment to maintain what they've created to make sure that it is relevant here in 2024 in Australia. So well done to the people behind Mrs Red and Sons. It's a wonderful experience. I'm so sorry I didn't get to see you sooner. Thanks for watching.